seniors, families, and every household depending on SNAP benefits. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to impact millions of people starting next month. For years, SNAP, or what most people know as food stamps, has been a lifeline for low-income families. It helps put groceries on the table, keeps kids fed, and makes sure no one has to go hungry. But the truth is, big changes are coming to the SNAP program in 2025. And if you don't prepare now, you could wake up next month facing delays, reduced payments, or even worse, blocked access to your EBT card. Now, I know a lot of you might be wondering, why is the government changing SNAP again? Isn't it already difficult enough for families just trying to get by? The answer is complicated. Lawmakers are updating the rules to crack down on fraud, improve efficiency, and, as they claim, ensure the program helps the people who need it most. But when rules change, even honest families can get caught up in the system and lose money they rely on every single month. Let me break it down in plain language. Starting next month, 3 major SNAP rule changes are set to roll out across several states before going nationwide. The first has to do with eligibility reviews. Up until now, most states required you to recertify your income and household information once a year. But beginning in September 2025, many households will need to update their details every 6 months. That means more frequent paperwork, more proof of income, and more chances to get flagged for mistakes. Imagine forgetting to report a small change like your kid's summer job or a slight increase in wages, and suddenly your benefits get paused until the state clears it up. That's the reality many families could face. The second change affects EBT usage rules. For years, SNAP cards could be used in grocery stores, some farmers markets, and even online retailers like Amazon or Walmart. But now, stricter transaction monitoring will be introduced. Purchases that look suspicious, like buying large amounts of certain items or using your card across state lines, might trigger temporary freezes. Officials say this is to stop trafficking and fraud, but ordinary families who shop in bulk or travel between states could find themselves unfairly targeted. And let's be real, nothing is scarier than having your EBT card declined at checkout when you're counting on it to feed your family. The third big change, and this one has shocked a lot of people, is the adjustment of payment schedules. Right now, most states issue SNAP benefits on a fixed date every month, but starting in some states next month, payments may be staggered over a longer window, stretching from the 1st all the way to the 28th of the month. That means you might not get your money on the day you're used to. Families who plan their rent, bills, and groceries around a specific deposit date could suddenly find themselves scrambling because their EBT didn't load when expected. The government says this change will reduce system overloads and errors, but for families, it feels like another layer of uncertainty. Now, let's step back for a moment. What does this mean for you personally? Well, if you're currently on SNAP, you need to be proactive. Don't wait for a notice to show up in the mail. Many states are already quietly updating their SNAP websites with these new policies, and recipients who miss the fine print are the ones who suffer. Check your online account, call your local SNAP office, confirm your recertification dates, and if you recently changed your address, make sure it's updated, or you might not even get the letters explaining these new rules. I want to share a quick story of Maria, a single mother of 2 in Texas. For years, she received her SNAP benefits on the 12th of every month like clockwork. She budgeted her bills and grocery trips around that date. But just last month, her state shifted to the new staggered schedule, and her benefits didn't hit until the 19th. For a full week, she had to borrow food from her sister and put off paying her electric bill. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She simply didn't know the rules had changed. Imagine how many families will face the same confusion starting September if they're not paying attention. Another critical piece of this update is how work requirements will be enforced. If you're under 55 and considered able-bodied, you'll now be required to either work, volunteer, or be in training for at least 20 hours a week to keep your SNAP benefits. Before, these rules only applied to those under 50, but the new 2025 expansion adds thousands more people into the work requirement pool. Lawmakers argue that this helps encourage employment. But let's be honest, finding stable work isn't always simple, especially for people in rural areas, seniors nearing retirement, or caregivers who can't leave home easily. Yet, if you don't meet the requirement, your SNAP can be cut off after just 3 months. There's also been talk about a new fraud prevention system where states cross-check your SNAP application against unemployment, Social Security, and even IRS tax records in real time. That means if there's any mismatch, maybe a late tax filing or an error in your work hours, it could trigger a red flag. The government says it's meant to protect taxpayer dollars, but it also creates another hurdle for families who already feel buried in paperwork. Now, let's talk about the good news because it's not all bad. With these new rules, some families could actually see a slight increase in benefits. USDA has announced that the Thrifty Food Plan, which determines SNAP allotments, will be adjusted for inflation in 2025. That means the maximum benefit amounts may rise by around $30, $50 per household. For example, a family of currently receiving around $973 per month could see they climb closer to $1. 0 to 0. It's not life-changing money, but when grocery prices are this high, every extra dollar counts. But here's the catch: to actually get that extra money, you have to be in compliance with all the new rules. Miss your race certification, you don't get the increase. Fail to meet work requirements, you don't get the increase. That's why I keep saying the families who stay informed and ahead of these changes will be the ones who benefit, while others could lose out entirely. Looking at the bigger picture, these SNAP updates are part of a broader national debate about how much support low-income families should receive, how long they should receive it, and what responsibilities should come with it. Some lawmakers are pushing for even stricter rules, while others argue that benefits should be expanded, not cut back. That fight is ongoing, but the rules starting next month are already locked in, and they're going to affect your benefits whether you agree with them or not. So, what should you do right now? First, log into your state SNAP portal and check for announcements. Second, gather your documents, pay stubs, address verification so you're ready for any race certification request. Third, mark your calendar with your expected deposit dates, but also keep in mind they might shift. And finally, share this information with friends, neighbors, and family members who rely on SNAP, because a lot of people still have no idea these changes are coming. Before I wrap this up, let me be clear: SNAP isn't just numbers on a card. It's the difference between kids eating dinner or going to bed hungry. It's the difference between dignity and desperation. These rule changes might sound technical, but in reality, they impact the daily lives of millions of Americans. And the more prepared you are, the smoother the transition will be. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think these changes will help reduce fraud and improve SNAP? Or do you feel they're just making life harder for struggling families? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your voice matters. And if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. With all the confusion surrounding SNAP in 2025, staying informed could mean the difference between getting your benefits on time or being left in the dark. Thank you for watching, and remember, I'll be here every step of the way, breaking down the updates and making sure you know the truth about your benefits. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video.